Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another video. All right, y'all, back with some more boxing talk. Let's revisit this welterweight division once again, man. As you know, Terence Crawford, he was able to make easy work of Kell Brook this past Saturday. Fourth round stoppage over Kell Brook. And, he was recently asked, I was just listening to an interview of his about to Shawn Porter interview, and I was listening to some of his words he had to say about the performance of Terence Crawford, and gave him full credit for it. But he also mentioned the fact that the approach that Kell Brook took as far as kind of waiting and feeling out Terence Crawford and kind of giving Terence a chance and vice versa. And Porter, when he was asked about how he would face him, he basically just came forward and said that if Shawn Porter was in there with a guy like Terence Crawford, there would be no feeling out process. Like Shawn said, it's no secret about his style. It's no secret about Shawn Porter's style that there really is no feeling out with him. Whether he is on his boxer, whether he is on his boxer game or he's on his dog game when he's coming in putting that full pressure on you. There really is no feeling out process with him. And I mean, we've seen that in his fights with guys like Kell Brook, Keith Thurman, Errol Spence, even Danny Garcia. We've seen his approach against those guys, your Dennis Ugas. And, so he's saying when he goes in there with a fight with Terence Crawford, he's not going to give Terence Crawford a chance to feel him out. His main thing in all these other past fights of his were to make guys react, make guys react off what he does. So that way it can work in his favor, which it does sometimes. And sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Because then you'll have those guys with those different levels, like a Keith Thurman that can dig deep through the trenches, like a Errol Spence, who can dog too, who can fight in the pocket and come back with their own power shots and be just as strong. And then you have guys like, Kell Brook in the past, basic 1-2, physically strong fighter. Guys like that, you can see that they had that gear to get out of what Shawn Porter had, but at the same time, they would still fall into deep waters with what he has. It takes a full-fledged welterweight to deal with Shawn Porter. And I think that whenever Shawn Porter brings that up against Terence Crawford, that's what's really going to make it even more interesting. We know Terence Crawford has been, he's been at welterweight for 2 years now, but he still hasn't dealt with this caliber of welterweight. He dealt with, I'd say, maybe 70-80% of the welterweight that Kell Brook used to be, maybe even less than that. Y'all can agree or disagree, but I feel like this will be a big test for Terence Crawford if they do if they ever do get in the ring together. Because I feel like Shawn Porter does have that style to make him react and make him uncomfortable. He's done this to all of these guys. Like I said, there are no feel-out rounds with Shawn. Shawn might start a little slow with the jab here and there, but if he sees that you're not doing nothing, he's going to go in on you. He's going to make you feel uncomfortable. He doesn't give you time to figure it out, like he said. Like, he gives no time to let you know let you find your style, let you find a game plan to beat him. Like everybody, they felt like last year, whenever Shawn Porter faced off against Errol Spence, they felt like this was going to be a fight where Errol was just going to box him easy and eventually knock him out in like the eighth or ninth round. But I think I did predict maybe like a late round stoppage if he caught him, or like a late round knockdown, or maybe like a close decision. I can't remember. I'm not going back to my videos, but I didn't see Errol boxing easy against Shawn Porter, and that's what made that fight interesting in the first place. You had the dog in both of these guys, but you had one who comes forward like a pit bull, and then you have the precision power puncher like Errol Spence. And Shawn Porter had that ability to bring him into a firefight. Errol Spence didn't box necessarily in that fight like he wanted to. I mean, he probably could have, but for some reason he wanted to really dig deep and fight with Shawn. And that's what Shawn does. He makes you react, and he makes you uncomfortable and abandon the game plan. So moving forward, man, like, that's what all the more makes this fight interesting, with the Terence Crawford, because this is what we really want to see. Like, even before I see a Terence Crawford Errol Spence fight, I want to see a Terence Crawford Shawn Porter fight. I wanted to see him graduate levels and just break that, like I always say, even in my past videos, break the PBC ice and work his way into the realms of these welterweights and really test his skills against these type of guys. I've said it back in 2018, whenever he first won the Jeff Horn fight for the WBO belt. I said, okay, that's the first fight. Next fight should be a Danny Garcia or Shawn Porter. And then after that, if Keith Thurman was a champion, the Keith Thurman, and then, you know, eventually a Kell Brook fight. Excuse me, a Errol Spence fight. You know, that's the way I felt it should have went. But, you know, it's been 2 years and we still haven't had them type of fights for him. So, you know, there still is a question mark over, you know, Terence Crawford as a full, you know, facing some of the best welterweights. You know, people still want to see his skills tested against guys like that. So yeah, man, like moving forward, I really want to see this fight. I really want to see this fight made. I want to see Shawn Porter in there sometime in the spring against Terence Crawford, you know, 2021. But the question is, will that happen? Which is something I'm going to talk about in another video. You know, just about Bob Arum and Terence Crawford and his overall promotion with his promotional relationship with Bob Arum. You know, I want to talk about that in another video, which I'm going to work on today after Bob Arum had some words about him. So I really don't know if that fight will happen. You know, I think he might finish out his contract with Top Rank with some just top ranked fighters, and then maybe late 2021 we might see him in there with some PBC fighters if he chooses to go free agent. So we'll see. But yeah, going back to the style matchup thing real quick. Yeah, man, like Shawn Porter, he does pose a big threat to a guy like Terence Crawford because, again, you know, Terence has never faced like this type of energetic fighter with this type of physical strength, this type of boxing ability. He's never ate a jab from a guy like Shawn Porter, you know, this type of strength before. And again, just this overall type of rhythm. You don't know if he's going to come in there as the boxer or as this dog. Because I think when he came in there as the boxer against Errol Spence, that kind of threw Errol's game off. You know, he came in there as that boxer. It was kind of different because he was boxing from the outside. He was throwing that jab. He was actually faster than Errol. And, you know, he was catching Errol with some good shots. But, you know, Errol stuck to his game plan. Won a lot of the inside firefights to me. And he was able to drop Porter in the later rounds. So we're gonna see, does Terence Crawford have that physical strength to handle Shawn Porter on the inside? Does he have that timing to catch Porter when he's coming in, you know, head first? Can he land one of those precision shots and still get the same effect like he did against like those guys like Kell Brook and you know, Jeff Horn and them? You know, can he land something to really rock him and do more damage than Errol Spence was able to do? You know, so that's all. That's what just makes it even more interesting. Just make this fight, y'all. You know, we just got to see this fight. You know, he is #1 ranked by the WBO, so he should be next in line for the belt. You know, if this was the UFC, this fight would have already happened maybe once or twice already. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we want to see this fight, y'all. But let me know, guys, in the comment section what y'all think about Shawn Porter, his words that he had for Terence Crawford. Like I said, the main keys that he spoke on that just really interested me was, you know, the fact that he said there's not going to be a feeling out process. He's going to make him react. And, you know, he's not going to give him time to figure him out. And again, that's where we really want to see Shawn Porter in there with Terence Crawford, you know, bringing that real welterweight power, real welterweight strength to the table to really test the pound for pound fighter. But yeah, man, that's all I got on this one, guys. Let me know in the comment section what y'all think. Does Shawn Porter really pose a threat to Bud Crawford, and vice versa? Or do you see Bud Crawford losing his belt to Shawn Porter? Let me know, guys. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.